Hi everybody. In this ViaRender video, I'm going to take a look at 4 different lighting setups that you can use within Twinmotion. Now this video is primarily intended for new Twinmotion users who are kind of struggling to maybe get their lighting to look good or don't know what settings to use or what sliders to adjust, and who are just kind of struggling. So here's going to be like basically 4 really nice lighting setups that you can set up without much effort. I'll run through all 4 of them. We'll look at the overcast sky, blue sky, sunrise, and golden hour lighting environments. And I'll show you the settings that I use to get pretty good results. The video is intended primarily for beginners, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, everybody, so lighting setup number 1, the traditional blue sky render. I'm going to turn on my path tracer here just so you can see how this is going to look. Now, the traditional kind of blue sky render, it's very popular. It's a really beautiful look. It'll be very useful if you just need to show off the building. And it's often a commonly used one if you're doing sort of like commercial properties. If, you're not maybe doing homes, but maybe you're doing buildings and things like that. Blue sky render is kind of a classic. It's a beautiful look. And it's actually really easy to set up in Twinmotion. So the first thing we need to do is actually go to environment. Now, you might be tempted to use the HDRI skies for this. I don't recommend this. If you're looking for a very beautiful, clean look, just use the dynamic sky. Now, the dynamic sky is really useful because, one, we can adjust the actual time of day. We can also twiddle the north offset, so we can just rotate this. And you'll see as I do that, it's going to affect the directionality of the shadows, which gives you quite a lot of control over the look and feel of your shot. Depending on, if you're just going for pure aesthetics, sometimes it's nice to have your building, home or commercial building, lit up a little bit more. So maybe have those shadows fall in the foreground so it's kind of darker leading into light. And it's a really easy system to set up. Now, once you figure out your kind of time of day and your north offset, you do have a few other things that you may need to figure out. Now, the first is this slider here under the appearance, which is the intensity. Now, by default, Twinmotion has set this to, I think, like 100,000 lux, which is way, 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 way too high. So what you can often do is just put this down to about like 30,000 and just right click. Sometimes with Twinmotion, it's really hard to deselect things. So just right click. You'll notice here now I've got a really nice blue sky and it's not excessively bright. Once you put it at your 30,000 lux, you can actually just dial it back down a little bit. So if I put this down to maybe like just 15,000, you're still getting a really nice result. And in terms of overhead, it's not that much. Now, temperature is measured in Kelvin, so basically warmth. And you can kind of see here, like if we take this further to the left, it gets kind of like orangey. And if we take it to the right, it gets a little bit too blue. So just leaving it somewhere within the region of, 6,500, maybe up to 7,500 will give you a nice balanced result. Now, there's one other thing that's really cool about this is if I go to this blue sky alternate shot here, well, there's actually 2 things I want to mention. The first is you have control over the size of the shadows. So if you take this all the way to the left, think of it as like how harsh the sun is going to be. And so a size of 0 or lower values is going to give you much sharper shadows. And if we take this all the way up to, I think 20 is the max value, you get much softer shadows in your render. So you have quite a bit of control. Now, there's one other thing that's really, really cool about this is there was this ambient slider here that you used to be able to use with the path tracer, which was kind of really nice, but they removed that. And so the ambient slider is basically just going to determine the brightness or darkness of the ambient lighting. So if you think about this, I'm sure there's a more technical reason or explanation for that. But look at the shadows with no ambient lighting, very, very, very dark. And as we lift that up, we're just getting more ambient light. This is a beautiful way to light your blue sky daytime renders within Twinmotion. You don't have to use a HDRI. You don't have to mess with any of those settings. Just make sure that the intensity slider is around 30,000 to start. Pick where the sun is coming from, which is your north offset. Adjust the actual size of the shadows and adjust the ambient. and you're pretty much ready to render. These dynamic skies, these default skies, these renders still look pretty good. So blue sky renders, when in doubt, just go ahead and use the dynamic sky. Next one that we want to talk about is going to be the overcast gray. Overcast gray skies work really well. Part of it is because they don't have a bright hotspot, so you get this very sort of soft lighting everywhere, and they look really nice. Now, in order to set this one up, you do need to use a HDRI. We are using one of the Lenong skies, which have become incredibly popular because you can kind of see here, like the end results are really, really lovely. So in order to have an overcast sky, we just need to make sure we're using the HDRI, Lenong, and then we can adjust the intensity of the sky itself. You can leave it at 1, but I've dropped this all the way down to 0.25, just depends on the shot that you're actually doing. But honestly, just any of the Lenong skies, and you can see here, we're not getting a bright hot spot. It's a really nice way to light your actual Twinmotion scenes, which is really why it becomes very popular. You do have a little bit more control with this. If you decide to add a directional light, you can uncheck the match HDRI button. Mixed results with this. You want to be very careful. You can use this to get like light coming through the foliage effects if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it for brand new users because it's going to it might mess things up quite a bit. But you do have that option right there as well. So match HDRI. But honestly, if you're just starting out, and like what I'll teach a lot of my students to do is, if you just want it to look good, just use the Lenong overcast sky. Now, in seeing that, you still have to be mindful of a couple of other things. All of these shots will require you to come in and adjust the auto exposure. You can see that over here. You want to turn that one off always. And generally, I found that when you're doing the overcast sky, you're going to need a higher exposure. So it's usually around 6 to 8 is where I found. Now, white balance is another thing you will want to be careful of. Even though it's an overcast sky, you still want to make sure that you're able to control basically how blue or warm this is. Overcast doesn't mean completely grayscale. So you may need to add a little bit more on the white balance, maybe starting with 7,500 Kelvin, which will add a bit of warmth to the image. And you may also want to look at using the tint slider. Now, the tint slider, you can see if I go to the left, super green, go to the right, super reddish, pinky, whatever. Just a little bit of this will go a long way to balancing out your overcast shots. Now, local exposure. The overcast images, you are, by default, say if we put these back to 0.5 and we put the shadows back to 0.5, it's not as cool looking. So generally, if you're doing the overcast sky, you're going to want those shadows to be pretty dark, and you may want to boost the highlights. This will work hand in hand with the exposure as well. There's no magic figure for this, but honestly, if you just, 7.5 in the exposure or 8, highlights and shadows taken up, Lenong sky, it's going to look good. If it looks bad, even with all that done, it's probably the camera or something else in the scene that's making it look bad. So there we go. The overcast look, it's absolutely beautiful. It's become like one of the gold standard looks within Twinmotion and D5. So keep that in mind. It's a great way to make your work look really, really nice. Sunset is going to be very similar. We are going to use a HDRI. I love this one here, the Bluebird Sunrise. And one of the reasons for this is just if I rotate the sky, you get a lot of options for how you want your sunrise to look. There's some really nice orangey kind of hot spots in this sky. And it's not like sickly purple the way some overcast skies tend to look. This is just a beautiful HDRI. You can adjust the intensity if you want it to pop a little bit more. But honestly, I found just leaving the Bluebird Sunrise at 1 is really nice. And then we just rotate it to get the kind of sky that we're looking for. Now, one of the benefits of this is this will look beautiful in the sky and in the reflections on the window. Now, again, you could also come in and turn off Match HDRI, but just keep in mind, this is a buyer beware kind of situation. If you do decide that you want to do this, please note that you'll have to adjust the color down here. I don't necessarily like the color that it picks from the HDRI, so I'll use temperature instead. And again, we'll come in here and maybe type in 7,500 Kelvin, or we can take this up a little bit more if we want it to be warmer or if we want it to be bluer. But, buyer beware on that one. It's unnecessary unless you really know what you're doing. Honestly, you can just get away with leaving match HDRI on and maybe just coming in and adjusting the camera exposure if you want the shot to be a little bit brighter. Bluebird Sunrise, absolutely beautiful HDRI. It's one of my favorites to use. Now, again, on this, you will always have to toggle the local exposure. This will, again, you can see no local exposure on the highlights, a bit too bright. So for these sunrise or sunset renders, we want to make sure that this is maybe on a lower value. You want to see some of the clouds in the actual sky. So to me, that looks really, really beautiful. I think that's a nice looking shot. There's a little bit of fog on there too. That's kind of giving it a hazy quality, but I think that will work quite well. So when in doubt, you need a sunrise or a sunset, just use the Bluebird. It's really, really nice. Now, the last one I want to show off is the golden hour. And golden hour is usually can be seen as early in the morning or late kind of in the evening dusk before the sun gets down completely. It's generally a preferred time for photographers and real estate photographers too, because it's got that soft, dappled, kind of warm light that people like. Now, in order to find a good HDRI for this, I went to Polyhaven, and this is the Sunset Meadow Path 8K. You don't necessarily need anything higher. I think Twinmotion can do 16K if memory serves, but 8K is enough, right? This is a beautiful sky. You can load it up by just going to the HDRI, click on the three dots here, and go open. You won't find it, to the best of my knowledge, in the HDRI outdoor environments. Look at this thing. This is just an absolutely beautiful sky. It does have a little bit of creeper, kind of where you're getting these leaves coming in from the original HDRI. So you might have to be mindful of that. But look at that. That is a absolutely stunning golden hour HDRI. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Again, intensity of 1. Rotate this to however you want it to be. Again, you could come in and, take the notch HDRI off, but you don't have to. We'll just go to environment. And again, exposure. Now, the white balance, if you're going for a golden hour shot, 2 things that might help. One will be adding a little dash of fog, very little. The second is going to be this white balance slider. You want a slightly warmer image for this look. And I've added a tiny, tiny bit of tint. So just 0.04, even up to 0.06 will give you a nice result. Local exposure for this one, I don't want it to look like the overcast skies. So what we'll do is we'll take those highlights all the way down, and that gives me more of the sky back. And then the overall shadows, again, I don't want pitch black shadows in this, so I'll actually lighten these by, again, putting them down to a lower value. Overall, I think those are pretty much like 4 lighting setups that I think will really, really help, especially for new Twinmotion users. If you're just not sure what to do and you're not sure why your images are just looking really bad, these 4 setups will definitely make your work look a lot better, and they're pretty easy to work with. By the way, if you're finding that your renders are still looking really, really bad, I have a video for that on Twinmotion, why your beginner renders look really bad. Feel free to check that one out. Spoiler alert, it's the camera. It's the camera settings. So anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this shorter form video useful, and hopefully it'll help with your beginner Twinmotion renders. And I'll see you in the next video, hopefully coming up pretty soon. All right. Cheers.